Okay, you probably associate me with a lot of things as a result of, my history here on YouTube and all the rest of that. One of the things I've mentioned a few times was, of course, drinking tea, and so what? With the way that we drink tea in England is pathetic. English tea is like pretty substandard crap. Now, why I like good tea is because it is transporting to the mind, it does things to you which a regular English tea would not do, and the way the Chinese drink their tea is more like a psychoactive experience. And so I've done this very short, here we go, very short presentation, which I'm doing in an incredibly amateurish way because I'm just a guy on YouTube, I'm not like a professional. And I'm going to show you this. Hopefully you can see that. It's not a very accurate font. I've just drawn it up from something I've seen on Google. And it's Char-Zuil, which I think is the right pronunciation. Some people just write this Char-Zui. And it essentially means to get drunk on tea. So what the hell is that about? Because I guess if I was just doing like a boring video about drinking tea, you would probably think like, what is Nick talking about? Right. Is getting drunk on tea an urban legend? Is it? Well, I thought it was for a while, until I did come across this idea called, Char-Zuili, and essentially what that's all about, and it is a real legitimate phenomenon. I had this tea drinking session with a friend of mine a little while ago, and the effect when we'd done it for a couple of hours using the Chinese tea ceremony was out of this world. We tried about 6 different teas and did them properly with all the right equipment. Nice bit of tranquil Chinese music playing in the background, and like the mind was blown by the end of it. And we were talking too quickly. There was all kinds of weird stuff going on in the mind, because tea itself, if drunk in this way, is a psychoactive drug, and it's used that way. Okay, so as far as like, is it even possible for you to get drunk on tea or to have an extreme psychoactive experience as a result of drinking tea? The bottom line is yes. And now we're going to have a quick look at why. Because within herbalism we got this thing called the active ingredients. And the active ingredients of tea, they're the main chemicals which we know about, which has an effect upon you. And every single tea will be different in terms of proportions and strength because of the way in which it's grown and prepared. Right, so the first thing is catechins, which is a variety of polyphenol. And as you can see here, the whole energy, the message of catechins is quite relaxing, antioxidant, so it's taking the stress out of your body. It's very literally an anti-stress chemical anyway, and it lowers blood pressure. So those are all things you would associate with wellness, with tranquility, with peace. So that's obviously a good thing. Then we move on to like the main proper psychoactive, which is theanine. We talk about tannin in tea, but tannin itself is a completely different thing. We have theanine in tea, alright? And we look, okay, genuine psychoactive. It is a form of stimulant, but it's an emotional stimulant, so it changes your moods. So we've got the effects of the catechins plus the theanine. You got your mood enhanced, you're happier, you will be happy. If you drink the way in which it's done in the Gongfu style, your mind gets pretty blown, I can tell you, alright? Antidepressants, another sort of like happy feeling, okay? Increases cognition, you become more intelligent, more aware of your surroundings, okay? Enhanced sensory awareness, so you're really, really calm, but you're happy and you're intensely aware of the surroundings, so you'll be able to work out like all the individual grains of wood on your desk. You'll be able to like see the depth of everything, and it's like astounding when you have the right strength and the right quantity. And then think about it, you add caffeine to the mix as well. And caffeine is a thing that's, that's like an intense stimulant anyway. So we got these 3 things going on all at once at the same time. So it's actually quite a powerful experience when done properly, right? Then you got theobromine, which is also in yerba mate. You've got different ratios within yerba mate, probably more theobromine providing the euphoria of chocolate, okay? But on the other hand, it's still there in tea, and it's still a very powerful part of the whole tea experience. But it's also another stimulant. So it's very much an upper and a tranquil type sensation. Just like, wow. You can't just like have a cup of tea. Once you've learned about doing it the Gongfu style, you just can't stop doing it. You'll find new ways of enjoying it. Okay, state of tea drunkenness. Don't know whether you can see that there. Talking too quickly, lightheaded, dizzy, eccentric sense of humour. I'm not well known for any of these things, I'm telling you. State of bliss. And a euphoric serenity. Alright, so essentially it's like, I mean, I try to rationalize this as like the art form of the Chinese tea garden. You know, you got the sound of running water, that's sensory, you got all the colors, you got all the feeling of tranquility. It seems to sum up the same energy of a really, really, really good, strong Chinese tea session done in the right way. Alright? A few types of teas to look for. Not a definitive list, okay? So chill out, relax. Tell me what you prefer in the comments section, that's what it's there for sometimes. Best teas to get drunk on. High quality oolongs. I've got a Phoenix Mountain oolong I'm going through at the moment. And I had a session on that one morning and I was like, you know, really, really, really tranquil. And really, really hyper. And it felt like the top of my head was vibrating. And it was like, you know, it's like opened me up, man. It was like awesome. Okay, shade grown, which is also very high in great things, including the caffeine. And pu'er, which is the kind of like long-term aged solid cakes that you buy and you have to, you know, break open and then infuse. And they have some interesting properties as well, including lots of other chemicals, like such as lovastatin in some pu'er teas. Lovastatin is it's a statin drug. It's used for circulation. So, why choose those teas? It's to do with the assumed ratio of all the various different chemicals, all the various different strength of all those different chemicals, to bring you to that like proper psychoactive state. Right, okay, now, what we got here? Reported negative effects of being tea drunk? Absolutely none. Well, that's an exaggeration. If too much of it hits your stomach and your stomach's empty, then maybe you'll feel a bit sick. You'll get a bit sick. You can get a bit dried up and a bit astringent in your stomach. If you go too over the top on your tea drunkenness, then you know you can lose strength in your limbs. You can feel a bit weak. You know, just like if you go too far, you're going to get too far. But you know, just like don't. All right, Gongfu is the name of the Chinese tea ceremony. Okay, Gongfu cha, to make tea with effort. That's what it means. You know, just like Kung Fu is like, presumably martial arts done with effort. Gongfu is like making a tea with effort. You use a much higher quantity of tea, such as between 3 and 7 grams of tea per 100 milliliters of water. So you've got to work out the volume of your teapot or your gaiwan. A gaiwan is basically just like a traditional teacup without a handle and with a lid. And it's used both for brewing and drinking. Okay, got to work out your volume and work out what particular weight of tea you need to use. And it'll be different weights of tea, taking into account the type of tea and the way the tea is prepared and all kinds of other weird, trippy stuff that I won't bore you with right now. But it's cool, okay? Seriously, you got to do this stuff. Seriously, it's awesome. Okay, steep time is only 10 to 30 seconds because it's only a very, very quick steep. We do lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of little infusions with much more herb and much less water. So it's every single infusion, the water gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the leaf. So every single infusion you have would have a very different flavor characteristic. And there's this whole like mythology within China as to, you know, you give your first one to your servant and the second one to your wife and then the third one you drink and so on and so forth. I can't remember the right order or whatever it is. Because like every single infusion will have a different characteristic. And there'll be one which is better than the others and so on and so forth. You've got to work it out, you know, and you can play around with it. The temperature of the water is essential too. So get yourself one of these. Okay, it's not made of bamboo. Whatever. It's you know, a digital infrared. There you go. There's the temperature of my throat. Thermometer. My throat is 33.6 degrees Celsius. Right, and you can use that over your kettle and all the rest of that to work out the temperature of the water prior to pouring it. Most teas you can do about 80 degrees Celsius and play with it. And of course, where have I put it now? Oh, here it is. You drink your tea in shot glasses. Okay? You drink your tea in shots. This one's great, sort of rounded lips so you can slurp properly. And you try and slurp your tea, slurp it into your mouth and breathe out of your nose so you get all of the fragrance going over all of the sensory bits inside your head. Okay, your olfactory thingy-bobs and the rest of it. So if you think about it, by comparison, English brewing 1.5 grams of tea per 100 milliliters of water. Really rather boring. 2 to 5 minutes steep time. So you get, by comparison, a much more flat flavour. It's nowhere near as like, you know, it's not as good. Okay? I mean, I like drinking English style occasionally. It's there for convenience. It's there for speed. It's there for convenience. But it's not there to make you go, oh my god, this herb is so fucking awesome. I want to have more of it. You know what I mean? Right. Final bit. There we go. The mood created by the ornamental Chinese garden can be yours inside your own head. Okay? If you were to search for tea drunkenness. That's the way I see it. And of course that's the slide, so to speak, I showed you earlier on, which is the Chinese writing meaning tea drunkenness. So everybody, get yourself some good quality oolongs and get drunk.